Good day, everyone. We are the Math Heroes. We are here to report about the COVID-19 outbreak in Calamba. Let us start.
Let us see first the overview of the report. To guide, number 1, COVID-19 in the city of Calamba. Number 2, COVID cases as of June 1, 2020 and August 1, 2020. Number 3, exponential growth formula and equation. Number 4, projected cases in November 2020, December 2020, and January 2021. Number 5, computation. Number 6, graphical representations. And lastly, number 7, implications and suggested developments.
The COVID-19 in the city of Calamba. Coronavirus disease 2019 is a new respiratory illness that was first discovered in Wuhan, China. It is transmitted from person to person. If an infected person sneezed, coughed, or talked, the small saliva that carry the virus can transfer to the other host. COVID-19 infects people of all ages. There are two groups of people are at a higher risk of getting severe case of COVID-19. These are older people ages over 60 years old and those who are with underlying medical condition. According to Calamba City Mayor Justin Mark Chupeco, is that the first COVID-19 positive case in Calamba, Laguna as of March 25, 2020 was a resident of Barangay Canlubang. According to News Desk, that a group of government officials, including Health Secretary Francisco T. Duque III, inspected the mega quarantine facility in Calamba, Laguna. The facility is expected to begin operations by early September. This construction of quarantine facility will be an improved local response against 2019.
So, the COVID-19 cases as of June 1, 2020 and August 1, 2020, based on the COVID-19 Philippines tracking system, that there are a 60 total case last June 1, 2020. 13 people who recovered, 1 case of person who died, and that was at time of DCQ. On the other hand, there are 455 total case last August 1, 2020, 50 people who recovered, 1 case of person who died, and still at time of DCQ.
The exponential growth rate formula. The formula is y equals c and e raised to r and t, wherein y is the final or future cases, c is the initial cases, r is the growth rate, t is the time, and e equals to 2.718 and so on. Exponential growth equation. Based on the data presented, the values are y equals to 455, which is the total cases on August 1, and it is the final data. C equals to 60, which is the total cases on June 1, and it is the initial data. T equals to 2 over 12 or 1 over 6, which was a term that is expressed in months or days, then converted to years. R is the missing rate of change. Those data will be substituted to the exponential growth formulas. Then after substituting, the equation will be y equals to 60e raised to 12.1557t.
Next is the projected cases in November 2020, December 2020, and January 2021. So before showing you the computations, this is the projected cases that we got after computing it.
Next is the computations. But first, we will show you the computations in November 2020. We use the equation y equals to 60e raised to 12.1557t. The t here is 5 over 12 since it is the number of years from June 1, 2020 to November 1, 2020. Then we substituted it to the equation and got 9,501.638745. But the final answer here is 9,501, and it should then be rounded off to 9,502 because we cannot assume that the 0.6 is equal to 1 person. Next is the computations in December 2020. We still use the equation y equals to 60e raised to 12.1557t, and the t here is 1 over 12 since this is the lowest term of the number of years from June 1, 2020 to December 1, 2020. Then we substituted it to the equation and got 26,165.43548. But the final answer is 26,165. So lastly are the computations in January 2021. We still use the equation y equals to 60e raised to 12.1557t, but the t here is 7 over 12 since it is the number of years from June 1, 2020 to January 1, 2021. Then we substituted it to the equation and got 72,053.88798. But the final answer here is 72,053. And it should not be rounded off, just the same in the computations in November 2020, since we cannot assume that the 0.8 here is equal to 1 person.
So that is how the projected cases in November 2020, December 2020, and January 2021 were found. With the June 1, 2020 having 60 cases, August 1, 2020 having 455 cases, November 1, 2020 having 9,501 projected cases, December 1, 2020 having 26,165 projected cases, and January 1, 2020 having 72,053 projected cases. Now is the graphical representation. We use the Desmos application to graph. We substitute the time as x values and the total and the projected cases as y values. Then we added the equation y equals to 60e raised to 12.155x. Then, this is the graphical representation.
Now, let us go to the implication and suggested developments. The project COVID-19 case in Calamba is 9,501 from November, 26,165 from in December, 72,053 from January. This shows that there will be a lot of people that will be positive for COVID-19. Furthermore, the economies of Calamba City has an alarming high chance to fail and collapse. The local government unit should always remind the city residents to stay home and follow the government's orders. Duration from the blue zone Y. Enhance the community quarantine contact tracing should be undertaken by the city government and city health officials, so people can undertake the need to precautionary measurements against the viral alignment. Each member of cooperative, especially the large cooperatives, and their own sharing collective efforts to help the communities. In this time of crisis, the mass testing should be always conducted by the LGU, and wearing of face masks must be a policy to limit the infection disease.
So, that is all for our report of the COVID-19 outbreak in Calamba. I hope that you enjoyed and learned something from our video. Thank you for listening and watching. Again, we are the Math Heroes, and see you next time.